about a plaque at the end of each trip item event. For the August whitewater rafting trip, thank you to Mr. Bernstein. The August backpacking trip, Mr. Cordell and Mr. Nelson. Our September acetate trip, the Racemans. Seneca District Camporee, Mr. Sellers and Mrs. Egan. Oh boy, the pig roast. Mr. Hanson, Courtney Griffith, Aaron Griffith, Sue Rambo, Steve Rambo, Alan Nelson, Andy Johnson, Aaron Foster, George Sellers, Scott Stallard, Claudia Stallard, Aileen Renzi, Joseph Byrne, Susan Byrne, Elena Macariva, Mr. Marsh, Julie Marsh, Alyssa Albin, Jen Porter, Mike Waters, Steve Weiss,
Weiss.
I'll remember next time. Lily Chiang, Stephanie Liu, Randy Koch, Yuquan Zong, Kathy Williams, Rob Williams, Michelle Spector, Denise Brown, Pete Averinos, Mr. Reed, Mr. Wales, Mr. Nelson, Mr. Rosenthal, the Racemans again, Mr. Rushkoff, and Ms. Egan. So let me mention all of our volunteer opportunities for next year are on this table over here. So please feel free to sign up for something for next year. Some of our events take a lot of help. Okay. The USS New Jersey camping trip, Mr. Johnson. The Troop Holiday Party, Mrs. Brown. The January cabin camping, Gloria Barron and Brent Barbie. The Timberline ski trip, Mr. Nelson. Mulch Day, everyone. Mulch Day was really long this year, so thank you to everybody. The March Potpourri, Michelle Spector and George Sellers. April biking trip, Mr. Newell. May canoeing trip, Denise Baker. Scouting for food, the Albans, Bennett Rushkoff, Jeff Reed, and Julie Laricella. The Fairhaven cleanup, Mr. Nelson. History of Scouting Trail, Mr. Sellers. Oh, we'll skip that one. And now, thank you to people who have served positions. Our Scoutmaster, Mr. Malia. Assistant Scoutmasters, Dave White, Alan Nelson, Dave Handel, Jeff Davis, Jerry Fitzpatrick, Andy Johnson, Chris Brown, Will Cordell, Gloria Barron, George Sellers, Jeff Baker, and our newest Assistant Scoutmaster, Elena Egan. Charter Organization Representative, Garine Asasi. Advancement Chair, Mr. Douglas, with help from Mrs. Sinfuego. Treasurer, Steve Rambo. Legal Counselor, Doug Kraus. Popcorn Coordinator, Mr. Pierre Louis. Room Rental Coordinator, Aileen Renzi. Rechartering Coordinators, Aileen Renzi and Dory Reisman. Troop Elections, Mr. Cordell. Webmaster, Mr. Bernstein. Advancement Chair, Mr. Douglas. Board of Review Coordinator, Mr. Handel. Medical Forms, Mrs. Byrne. This is the first year my list has been 2 pages. Weebelows Coordinator, Mrs. Marsh. Tour Permit Coordinator, Mr. Reisman. Summer Camp, Mr. Brown. This is last year. Mr. Nelson and Mr. Bernstein. And High Adventure Coordinator, Mr. White. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so we always usually say some special thank yous at the picnic. Often it's because somebody's leaving, but we are lucky we're only losing one graduate this year. So I want to thank some people for projects that they've served on. So first, the Davises. Are they here, Mr. Davis? Oh, well, we want to thank Mr. and Mrs. Davis for being the March coordinator for the last several years. Is Mr. Rushkoff still here? No? Jacob can accept this for his dad. Mr. Rushkoff has been our Scouting for Food coordinator for quite a while, and our cabin camping coordinator, and our March cleanup coordinator. So he's transitioned off some of those. And one more, I wanted to thank Mr. Douglas for continuing to be our advancement chair. So lastly, I want to give a round of applause to the people who made tonight possible. Mainly Mrs. Brown for coordinating the picnic. And Mr. Douglas for returning from out of country to get all of these awards together. One more thing. I mentioned two more things. The volunteer sign-ups are over here. There's also some clothes that people have outgrown if anybody wants them. And there are BSA ID cards. They're in alphabetical order, so just go through the stack and grab yours. Thank you.